This is gonna be good. Yeah, we can already feel the outrage and the heated discussion about the Loli characters and how everyone who loves playing this class is a pervert or worse. Yeah, our answer to that is lighten up. Guys, it's just games. Like it or not, everyone has their own taste, and we're not here to judge, just to show you how it is. So, here are 10 free-to-play games that feature classes that some love and others hate, but in the end, we're bound to see it in many games, especially if the developer is Eastern. This one is for those who like the character and want to know some good games with these childlike beings star. In no particular order, let's begin.
FreeMMOStation.com.
Devilian Online is one of the most popular Chinese MMO games and proof that this country is definitely taking their development to the next level. Yeah, with a few classes that wouldn't be out of place in other martial arts MMORPGs, this one couldn't leave the lolly out of the cast. It even includes the all-now mandatory sliders and some nice dance moves to go along. Let's watch your skills, and you can dance along if you wish. Just make sure no one else is in the house with you. Blade and Soul is one of the games where the lolly race Lin gets some well-deserved treatment. It's not just the unique art style that makes these characters an authentic playable anime, it's also the fact that the Lin have a familiar running and fighting by their side. You can call it a pet if you want, and it kind of makes sense as we're talking about a fluffy cat with big cute eyes, but the fact is that the Lin and the familiar are a team that goes everywhere together. It's not unusual to see a bunch of Elines running around in Tera. There seems to be a special predilection for this race of female humanoids. Nature-loving and displaying a childlike demeanor, the Elines are the only race capable of evolving into Reapers, a vicious class that uses chain blades to go around in a devastating God of War style. They are big friends with the Popori, which makes a lot of sense considering that this race can sometimes look like a fluffy pandas or sad kittens with big ol' eyeballs. Asker the Light Swallowers is a punch-them-in-the-face online action RPG in the styles of Vindictus. Hey, now that we mention it, there's a game that still doesn't have a lolly class. Go figure. Anyways, in Asker, you choose between 3 classes, and one of them is the Battle Mage. Or in the other words, the little girl with a giant hammer. Yeah, it doesn't quite make sense, I guess, but we'll go with it as the lolly is becoming one of the most popular classes in MMO games, and there's still not much consensus on his and or her role. The most logical would be a mage or sorceress, but in this game, it's a battle mage. One that has devastating power with her hammer, which also doubles as a mount. You can ride the hammer as the witch rides her broom. It looks a little bit odd here. Devilian is the rare kind of adult-themed MMO, and by adult, we mean by having a dark and gloomy ambience, pretty much in the style of Path of Exile, another game that takes the Diablo approach. Trine Worlds brought Devilian to North America, thus making a large catalog even larger. It's upon the Cannoneer class that the honor falls to present the lolly tradition, something that once again makes as much sense as scantily clad female warriors, let's be honest. A small cute character carrying a big cannon around? Question mark? Sure, why not? As long as it's fun. ELOA, Elite Lord of Alliance, is one of the most recent games in this video to get a Western release, and judging by its Korean origins, a lolly character just had to be a part of it. Liru is that race, and as usual, her or his weapons are completely oversized, especially the big-ass hammer that seems to be the class's weapon of choice. The smaller the character, the bigger the weapon, it seems. Let's see her in action just for a little bit. Hello, Scarlet Blade. Many tales have been told about your constant struggle for equality and placing gameplay before everything else. So how could we not mention... Okay, yeah. Now, more seriously though, the Sentinel is the Loli class in this game, and it's kind of funny, in a weird way. It's one of the more risky characters, even deserving of censorship when the game was brought over to North America and Europe from the original Korean game's Queen's Blade. So, to disguise the fact that it was maybe just a little too much in a game that is frequently a little too much, Area Games added some sort of hexagon skin disease or something, preventing the class from going full nude as the other classes go. Well, that's close to nothing, but it's the thought that counts, right? The Elsword Online makers totally changed their game with the new title IMA or IMA Online. This time, we're going to get into Diablo territory, something that seems to be becoming quite popular lately with other releases even reaching the Western market such as ELOA and Devilian. So considering that the planning stages probably decided beforehand that there should be a Loli class in IMA, which one would it be? Well, they went for the Archer, which kind of makes sense, or not, really, because in the end it works whether you like it or not. You have this small, frail character that uses her bow to attack enemies while keeping her distance as much as she can. In Echo of Soul, or EOS Online, the Loli class isn't actually that different from some of the other classes. Sure, she's a bit smaller than the rest, but the art style in this game means that they all actually kind of look like kids. Yeah. So moving on, the Loli class here is a sorceress, which kind of makes sense, as her frailty gives way to devastating magical skills, and she's able to double as a frost mage or a fire mage, which makes her a valid choice for any player, not just Loli fans. Gunslinger Stratos Reloaded is a third-person online action game from Square Enix that features a character-based roster with some pretty eccentric fellows. Yeah, one of them is Sidune Rindo, butchered that name. Okay, the Loli, which actually stands out from the rest mostly because of her dress sense. We don't get it. Some of you probably won't too, but it looks like this huge-ass sleeves kind of fashion has some sort of tradition besides looking completely ridiculous. It's surely useful for concealing weapons, maybe, and possibly carrying your meal around, I guess, but it looks like it could hinder your progress more than it could help you, I think, but hey, we are not Oriental, so maybe we're missing something. I don't know, let us know if you actually understand this, and would wear it to work or school, or at all, ever, in a regular day. 10 games, most of them fairly new, and while half of them haven't launched in Western territories yet, it's possible to play them in the original versions if you give it a good try. There are more games with Loli classes, of course, and maybe in the future we can return to this topic if you find it interesting enough. As always, we would like to hear your suggestion down below, and who knows, start writing down names for a second volume. Well, we'll see. Until next time, Jana.